You've repeatedly said that you see many wonderful stock ideas, but can't invest because they're too small. Given that many in the audience today have a lower dollar investment threshold...
Do these stocks have names?
Well said.
Well, the answer to that is that we don't look anymore. We assume that there are a reasonable number of opportunities as you work with smaller amounts of capital, because it's always been true. I mean, it was over the years, as I looked at things, clearly you run into companies that are less followed as you get smaller, and there's more chances for inefficiency when you're dealing with something where you can buy $100,000 worth of it in a month rather than $100 million. But that is not because I'm carrying around in my head the names of 25 companies that we could put 100,000 in. I just don't look at that universe anymore. Sometimes people send me annual reports or get letters from managers, and they say, well, you know, I've got this wonderful thing, and I usually know ahead of time, but I mean, I would first look at the size, and if the size isn't right, and it isn't going to be virtually any time, I don't look any further, because there's just no time to be looking at all kinds of smaller opportunities. I do think if you're working with very small amounts of money that there almost always are some significant inefficiency someplace to find things that I've mentioned to some people. When I started out, I actually went through all of the Moody's manuals and the Standard & Poor's manuals page by page, and you know, it's probably 20,000 pages, but there were a lot of things that popped out, and none of them were in any brokerage report or anything of the sort. They were just plain overlooked, and you could find out about them, but nobody was going to tell you about them. And my guess is that continues to be true, but not on anything like the scale it was then.